My one teacher said, he said, simple to complex. No matter what the challenge is, go with the simple things first, and then go to the bigger things, you know. And that makes, I've seen a guy tear a car apart because the air cleaner was blocked. Never thought about it. Totally blocked. Race it up, it would choke and cough and spit and everything like that. And the air cleaner was clogged almost completely, you know, and it's just... But it's like I said about knocking these out, you know, you take them out, you knock them on the... If you ever look at a big diesel truck, dirt is a terrible enemy of a big diesel engine. If the air gets in after the air cleaner, you'll wipe the cylinder walls out in 5,000 miles. And I had it happen over at work well, twice. And what the big trucks will have on them is basically a vacuum gauge on the side of the air cleaner. And you don't touch that air cleaner until that restriction, it'll show you the restriction in there. You don't even touch it until it hits that certain spot. There'll be a little gauge because you don't even want to open up the air intake system on a big diesel until you have to. And then minimal, you know. And that's why I like the Model A's with no air cleaner. Imagine how much longer they would have lasted if they had an air filter, just an air filter. You know? Yeah, yeah.
Mine's original's got this little canister with like a piece of Brillo in there.
Mm-hmm. They're flame arresters more than anything. Yeah. And then they had the oil bath air cleaners. Well, they didn't work good until you really got on the highway where hopefully that suction would suck a little oil up into the element, you know. For instance, it's, well, you're not aware of it, but you're talking about new and old. Your new car probably has a little coil for each spark plug, okay? This book right here, this is a Model T Ford 1908 to 27. This has a coil for each spark plug. 1908, you know? And it has the same type firing unit on the front of the camshaft that your car has, a cam position sensor. And basically I used a roller on the distributor cap, kind of, is on the front of the camshaft. And it just rolls around and dumps the circuit so the coils, each coil for each can fire the plugs. But yeah, it's, in theory, it's the same, you know, and this transmission in this, okay, is the same principle, well, I don't know what, say 1990s car, 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s. The transmission in this car is the same, only instead of it being automatic, you applied everything with pedals. But it's the same basic engineering design, you know. Same thing, planetary gears, bands, and clutch plates. But in an automatic, it's all done with a pump and hydraulic pressure, where in this thing, you're working pedals all the time to do it, you know. So yeah, as much as they're different, there's a lot the same. I started a car without a carburetor one time. Yeah, see what that happens. And we were in that Plymouth troubleshooting contest, you know, years ago, and it was a vocational thing for high school boys to basically Chrysler Corporation supplied different vocational schools with brand new cars, 1966 Plymouth. And they would give you a brand new car to practice on. And then you would go to a competition where there might be, well, all the vocational schools from Pennsylvania, we went to Harrisburg. And they would line up all these brand new cars and put bugs in them. And then your job was to solve them, get the car running as quickly as you could. And so we were loaned one from the Chrysler dealer, Island Auto, over here. And it was in the shop at Scranton High School. And we had our little routine. There was two of us. We had our little routine worked out that I would do certain things while he was doing certain things and try to save time. There was two of us. Make a long story short, I had the carburetor off on the bench in front of me, all apart. And I told, his name was Jim. In fact, it was Jim Sanfici. I don't know if he was related to Mark or not. I don't know. I'd have to ask him sometime. Anyway, I said, if you crank the engine over while I'm doing this, we could get a dwell reading. And it would spin fast enough to do that. And we would know that that part it was just steps to save time, because you were being timed with this. I heard the starter turn, and this engine roared to life like you can't believe. The fender covers blew off into the air, and I'm standing there, the carburetor's here, and the shop teacher comes running over. When I took the carburetor off, the fuel line just laid over the 2 ports in the intake manifold. It was a 318 V8, and he started it, plugs were in, and it shot fuel, and it was fuel injected. The faster it'd go, the more fuel it'd pump. Some poor people bought that car, because it was a brand new car. I mean, I never heard an engine race like that in a standard sedan in my entire life. And I find we all just, you know, and I reached in and I grabbed the coil wire and yanked the coil wire off to shut up. Because we didn't think to shut the key off. We thought if it ever jumped into gear, it would have went through the wall, you know. But I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget it. So they'll run without a carburetor if you can get them going.